Good morning or good afternoon to everyone. We want to welcome you to our Renovember retail webinar. This is for our Finance of America loan originators. I know it's Monday. I know for some of us it's early. It's 9 a.m. here for me. And I know, William, it's 11 a.m. for you there. Hope you all have a great Thanksgiving. We are covering today the how to sell renovation loans. And so tomorrow we have a webinar for you to invite your realtors to. Now, I want you to grab, and I'm going to post up here, I've got our handout here that you can grab. And then, so it's a handout on how to sell rental loans. I'm also going to send out to everyone, and I'll send it to you, William.
Okay.
I'm going to send up links to everything that we've done so far, because this was a series. We've done 3 different webinars. We did the why you should sell the renovation loans, the ins and outs of renovation loans, and then how to sell renovation loans. So I'm going to send you everything, all of our handouts, everything that we've created, all of our recordings. You all can go back and listen to those. And then, William, if you can point them to where the flyers are located at.
Yep.
And
flyers are on the hub.
On the hub. Perfect.
Yeah. But I will send the direct link when I will send an email to everyone later today as well, to you guys as well as the whole sales force. So Ginger, when you send your message to me, I'm going to send it to everybody in the sales force, not just the people on the webinar.
Okay, cool. So the other thing, and guys, I just put the link, and I'm actually just going to grab the actual just link right now, and I'm putting it in the chat box to the webinar that is tomorrow, Tuesday, 11 a.m. Pacific time. You do the math for that. What I'd recommend, post that on your social media today. And I just posted it on mine, and we said one out of 3 homeowners who are doing renovation loans are putting it on their credit cards. And so people are using their credit cards to renovate, not just little things, but big things. And so if you want to use, okay, you guys, don't make me laugh by posting stuff up there while I'm talking. and oh, somebody's funny. I'm going to share, Victor. You know why?
Yeah, so there we go.
I ever saw Gilligan's Island. Yes, I've seen Gilligan's Island. Yes, lots of references there. And yes, I do ask if they have seen Marianne. So anyway, we do digress. It is Monday. So this is the link to the webinar for your realtors. So what I recommend, post it on your Facebook, post it on your LinkedIn, invite them to this webinar. We're going to do the heavy lifting, guys. You don't have to do anything other than invite. And we're not going to be digressing. This is obviously a very informal group we have. We all know you. But we're going to share the information on the renovation loans. And we're going to talk about, the 203K as well as the home style. So those are things, but get it out there. The reason why is we have 10 people registered for this webinar. I know you guys are better than that. I know you can get more than 10 people onto 10 realtors onto a webinar. So I know you guys are getting the 404 error off of this link. Grab the link. Grab this link. William, you want to test it real quick?
That's what I was getting ready to do.
Because we have had some issues with the email link, I know, because it gets put through that wonderful spam filter.
Yeah, I got a 404, but it went to Zoom and I got a 404 link. That's weird.
So
that's the one you just posted. The one that I posted should go to, because when I tested it, I think I had someone else test it too. Let me copy the realtor invite that I did.
Okay, well, we'll work on that. Yeah, we're going to record the webinar as well first. So we will record it. We'll send out a recording for you. You can send that out. And I'll work through some things on that. I have some ideas for you that I've done in the past. There's a couple different platforms that you can use. Forrest, you may remember through the TRID stuff that I did, the automated webinar where it was recorded and stuff. So let me play around with some things for y'all to help you. God, that sounded really Southern. Anyway, dare I digress? I know you can hear me because you're responding to me, so I'm not going to ask you that, but I am going to keep moving on. And then I am going to check the link as well, and we'll make sure and get you the right link for that. But do put it out on social media and do let people know about it, because it is a great program, and obviously it can help you. So think about marketing to your database, and we're going to talk about some of those things right now. So there are lovely photos, William and I. And so we've enjoyed having the opportunity to do these webinars with you, and look forward to doing some more. So let's do a Reno recap. So we talked about leveraging renovation loans to grow your business. We talked about how you can plan to use the products for refinances as well as your purchases. We talked about how to explain the mortgage worksheet, the Max Mortgage Worksheet. And here's a little recap. Always use it. Make sure you complete it and use it as part of a template when you're going through with your borrowers. It's the only way to really see the deal. It also minimizes your verbal miscommunications about costs, and it helps the borrower understand the program. So make sure you're getting that, and William can tell you where to do that. So our goal today is to give you a roadmap. A roadmap, and guys, this is a roadmap that you can use not just for renovation loans, but for any kind of product that you're using. So hello, FAM, commercial products. How many of you guys are using that? And it doesn't matter. I don't care. William doesn't care how many of these types of loans that you get. What it is a way to stand out. And that's what you need to look for right now, is ways that you can stand out, what you can do to leverage to position yourself as the experts, what I call edu marketing. So using your expertise to market and position yourself as the expert in your field. I'm going to be doing, I don't know if any of you are planning to come to the NAM National Conference in a couple of weeks. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be doing a workshop on using just that. So some of the tips and tools. And I'm happy if you all want to do that, William, we can do something like that in December too, where we can start pulling in some of those things. So, but let's talk about what you can do to be able to utilize the renovation loans in your business. And it begins, William, with setting those goals, right?
Right. So the first thing you guys have to do, and this is just basic sales things, guys. I think you know this. So I think back to when I first got in the business, had this conversation with my manager, and this is the first thing we did. How many loans, well, she said to me, how much money do you need to make, William? And then she said, how much do you want to make? Those are two different numbers, right? So you got to decide what your volume is going to be. So I just did renovation loans, and I did I-10. So I wanted to fund 7 loans a month. All right. So for me to have 7 fundings a month, I had to have X number of conversations with prospects, realtors, builders, all these things, right? So it starts with the conversation. I had to build a database of realtors, and I started from scratch. And I actually came into the mortgage business the day before everything fell apart, right? So not quite the day, but the same year that the wheels fell off the wagon, I was learning to be a mortgage originator. So you got to have conversations, and then you got to have a map of where you're going to do it. Mine was a physical map. I called on all the offices within 10 miles of my office, all the realtor offices, on a regular basis. And I had conversations. If I talked to the broker, I talked to the receptionist, gave her a flyer, gave her a cookie, talked to realtors. I went to realtor events. How many conversations do you have to get X number of applications? Because applications are key. You can talk to everybody you want to, and usually you wind up talking to 4 or 5 times as many people as you get applications for. So then you get your applications. And I did that through realtors referral. I went to community events, social things. Now we have social media. Back then we didn't have it so much, right? So now you can use your social media, and you're trying to get to closed, in my world, renovation loans. But Ginger is right. I really want you guys to be successful as originators and salespeople. I think it's marvelous when you sell my products, but I think it's even better when you just are at the top of your game and your life is working through your job, right? So what are your goals? What do you need to do to get those goals? That's the next question, right?
Okay, so the first thing is, number 1, and we broke this down into little steps for you, and that's in the guide that I sent you the link for. That does work, not the 404 error. So number 1.
Make sure that you understand the program and are comfortable with the way that we close renovation loans at Finance of America Mortgage, okay? So we have a conventional option, which is Fannie Mae Home Style, and we have the government option, which is FHA 203K, both variants. Make sure you understand those programs, what they can what they can do, what they can't do, how they work. I think about them as sort of like three buckets. Limited 203K is a small bucket, cosmetic stuff, under 30,000 basically in repairs. And then your standard 203K and your home style, almost the same size buckets. Home style is a little bit bigger because it allows for luxury items and investment properties. But on either of those products, the bigger bucket is 203K because that lets you tear the house down to the foundation. So you just have to know a few basic things, put those in your brain, and then you're better able to put the rest of the picture together so that you understand. On our processes, you guys process the credit package at the branch level or wherever you do your credit packaging. Your Reno unit specializes in renovation and construction loans. We're going to do the renovation package. That's our process, okay? It's high touch for the consumer and a lot of support for the salespeople. So for you guys, number 2, analyze your client base. Find the shops that do FHA business or shops that are in a market where your conventional conforming limit would allow a home style. That's a lot of places, okay? Find out from the realtor if they do renovation loans. Go talk to them. That's one of the conversations. Take one of the flyers, take some of the marketing collateral, go talk to them. Walk into an office you've never been in before and introduce yourself and tell them you're there to talk about some ways they can close more deals. Find out if they do renovation loans, what their experience is. Have they done them? Did they like them? What did they like about it? Do they work with other lenders? Did you like that? Like, who do they do their renovation loans with? And then what do you need to do to capture that business? Find out what their objections are, their sore points, the things they didn't like about the other, and see if we have an answer. And you can talk to me before you go out. If you want to call me or send me a text or something, we can have that conversation. I can pretend to be the realtor. I've talked to lots and lots of realtors about renovation loans. And if they don't promote them, find out why not. And then you can maybe provide a solution for that. So that's number 2. Know the products and then get out there and start talking to them. And when you find a realtor and you're having this conversation, make sure they understand when the reno loan is suitable, right? Because a lot of times, the worst time is to get a reno deal from your preferred realtor partner after they tried to close it as a conventional VA FHA loan and it failed the appraisal. Because now everybody's like cranked, because they're supposed to go to close and it's like 2 weeks away and the seller's not doing the roof or the HVAC system didn't turn on. They should have started out as a renovation loan, and then there's a lot less drama. And then you got to get them to the point. This is the one, if you could get your realtors to ask the money question, it will boost everybody's business. So they have to be willing. They have to be willing to ask this question. And the question is, would you consider writing an offer if you could finance X, whatever it is, into your mortgage and get the money to fix it up? If the realtors will start asking the consumer that question, it will drive more business potentially, as well as when the potential is there, they won't have to show them as many houses, right? So when I talk to realtors, and you can ask them this, are you good at your job? Okay, then how come it takes you 15 houses to sell somebody a house? It's kind of pokey, right? And they'll say it's because of X or Y, or they don't like this, or they didn't like that. So then here's an alternative for them. You show somebody a house that meets 85% of what they said they were looking for. Ask them if they'd write an offer if they could finance the 15% and fix it up. Okay, you got to get them to do that. That will be huge for driving business to you. And the other thing about your conversations is you need to converse with everybody about it, right? You have to talk to everyone, every borrower, right? So the 4th thing is, what do you expect? Okay, if you've never done a renovation loan, you got to really be able to manage some expectations. What are our turn times? What are the contract time frames? That's huge, all right? When your realtor comes to your favorite realtor and you've been trying to do business, well, maybe it's not your favorite realtor. How about this? This is the guy or the lady. You've been trying to get in front of them for 2 years, but they got a guy. They got a lady. They don't need you, right? They'll talk to you. They're polite, but they're not sending you any business. And when you've been calling on their shop for a while now, and now they know you do renovation loans, so all of a sudden on a Friday night, you get a phone call from this person who you really want to do business with, who wants to know if you could do a reno deal on this deal that's falling apart, or this deal that they just took. And you say, sure. And they send you a 30-day contract. You should back away from the table because you're going to blow it up. You can hardly get a loan done in 30 days, a conventional loan, much less a renovation loan. So make sure the contract gives you 45 to 60 days to make sure that we can get it done with a minimum amount of drama. And then the other one is the capacity for rush items. So that all hinges on renovation loans involve a lot of third-party groups that do stuff for us: appraisers, project inspectors, HUD consultants, sometimes the builder. So we got to do our part and get everything in as timely as possible, because if you have to get a rush all the time, you won't get a rush all the time. Sometimes we just can't rush it. And just remember, this is the world of TRID 2.0. We need to be clear to close 10 days out from when you want to close. Okay, so you got to get that done in there. That's number 4, right? So make sure you can manage expectations. And if you're not clear about that, call me. And then when you talk to your realtors and yourself, like, you got to make a commitment. When I was in LO, I had a commitment because it revolved around providing food and shelter and clothing for 6 other souls, right? So you got it. What's your commitment? How many loans are you going to do? Right? And like I said earlier, I like you to do the reno loans, but I want you to be successful in your life. So break it down. What's the commitment? If you're talking to a realtor and they said they can think to do that, so your commitment from a realtor would be, would you ask everybody the money question if you show them a house? And then you can follow up. How many houses did you show this week? I showed 2. Did you ask them the question? Okay, print it on a card. Help them remember. Like, get commitment from your partners to talk about the products, because that's where it starts. We all know that when people want to buy a house, they don't come see us first usually, because we don't have houses. We have money. We're mortgage bankers. They go see realtors because realtors have houses. So you got to get your realtors on board to committed to talking about the products and viewing it as a viable solution so they can close more deals. Number 6, this is really, really important, okay? We are here for you guys. Like, this is my job. People call me and they apologize for calling me. Don't apologize. This is my job. If I wasn't helping you get these deals done, I'd be driving a FedEx truck, because I think that's a really cool thing to do, right? But that's not what I do. So we can help you manage your clients. I can talk to realtors. I can do webinars with you. We can do this presentation for small groups of realtors in their office. If you have a situation that needs immediate response and you're not getting it through Reno scenarios, because we monitor that date all the time, but we do other things. But I always answer my phone, right? It's a number for you guys. You can call me, you can text me. If I'm not on a presentation or in a meeting, it's not on Do Not Disturb. So call me. Let me help you structure the deal, think about it, deal with your realtor's objections, talk to your borrowers, answer your questions so that you feel comfortable. Okay, that's the deal. We want you guys to feel comfortable and confident that you have a robust back office to support your origination efforts. We're not going to leave you hanging, all right? Number 7, you got to get active, right? Like Ginger said at the beginning, she gave you the link for the realtor webinar. We need your realtors on this webinar tomorrow. So post it, call them up, invite them. Like, it's not going to take very long. It should give them some really good, useful information. Everybody should be scrambling around trying to figure out how they're going to build, increase, or maintain their business in 2019. I think renovation and the basic philosophy of how to sell it is useful, and they should be on the call, right? So post it on social media. Join our Facebook page. It's at Renovation. I think that's our Facebook page. Hook up with people on LinkedIn. And help your partners grow your realtor partners grow their renovation business, because they can get more deals done. For the realtor, this is about getting to the table with as few showings as possible. Okay? So same thing for the realtors. I like that quote that Ginger put up there. A goal without a plan is just a wish. All right? So realtors, are they going to talk to every borrower about a renovation loan? Are they going to ask them before they take them out to show houses, how are you going to plan to fix up the house that I find for you? Right? Applications, how many are you going to get? How many are going to decide to work with your realtor partners? Are they losing potential prospects? What can you do to help them capture more business in their market? Referral partner outreach, visits, social media posting. And you're trying to get to close renovation loans. You close a renovation loan, make a deal about it. It's a party. We will let you know when the renovation is complete. You can go back and have another party. Call the borrower after the renovation is done. Ask them for business. They may have referrals now that they've been through the process and they're really enjoying their new house. But you got to have some goals, okay?
And, William, this is one of those things, this is a good time, and a lot of times we only do goal setting at the beginning of the year, but I always like to do my goal setting at the end of the year, because then it gives me an opportunity to look back at, okay, what did I set my goals for last year? that I wanted to accomplish in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Did I meet them? Did I not meet them? And then what do I need to do to be able to do the goals that I want in 2019? Now, when we see a change in the market, like what we're seeing right now, a lot of times our natural response is to accept it and say, oh, well, there's shrinkage in the market. I'm not going to do as much. I challenge all of you to do the opposite and increase your goals, increase your production goals for 2019. Why? Because if you set higher goals, you're more likely to reach them or come closer to them.
Right.
So don't succumb to what's happening in the market. Don't listen to your neighbor. Don't do the woe is me, because there are opportunities out there, and those opportunities exist for those who are willing to show up, for those who are willing to set their goals, to do the referral partner outreach, to have their visits with your realtor partners, to do your social media postings. And I don't mean just do it once in a while. Oh, I'm thinking I'm going to do this because Ginger said I should do this and William said I should do this. But really make some goals and have a template. How many of you do that? And I know a lot of you do. That's why you're on this webinar. But, type in the chat box. Let me know. And if you don't, that's okay. But let's change that. I mean, let's really make that goal in 2019 that we're going to change what you do for your goals and what you do. And it doesn't, doesn't have to be financial. Maybe it could be something else. Maybe, you want to, give back. I mean, I don't care what it is, but really it is true that a goal without a plan is just a wish. So there's things we can do. If you all are interested in doing something on a webinar like that, I'm more than happy to do that.
Very good. Number 2, you got to sell them to everybody, all prospects and customers. All right. So, we sent you guys some information on the house survey that just came out this fall. They interviewed more than 10,000 people that House did this survey, and they found that 30% of them doing renovation loans with their credit cards. Okay. They don't know about renovation loans. The average consumer does not know that they could buy a house and finance fixing it up, remodeling it at the same time. They don't know that if they're living in a house and they're trying to remodel their kitchen or put a new HVAC on or add hardwood flooring, and the HELOC doesn't work because they don't have enough equity and it's not enough money, they don't know they could refi to a renovation loan. So you have to sell them to everybody, and everybody's not going to do one. But guys, what happens is people talk, all right? And if you explain this to me and I just do a straight conventional loan or a VA loan, that's fine. You got that deal. But guess what? I may have kids. I may got people at work or at church or in my social club or at the bowling alley or that ride ATVs with me or hunt in the, on the weekends. And I will talk about that as we talk about the housing situation. People are always talking about, what we used to call their crib, like where you're going to live. Like they talk about that all the time. And so if you will start talking to all your buyers, your prospects, what are you going to do about renovating the house you buy? Oh, you're going to use cash. Why would you do that? Did you know that there's a renovation option that you can keep your cash and you can still manage your payment and have the house renovated? Like, have those conversations with people. Be willing to talk about it, because I guarantee you they do not know it's an option.
True. So I've got a question that I'm going to ask you right now. So what's the best strategy for high-cost areas where FHA limits are not high enough to buy a house?
So the option that we have is Fannie Mae Home Style. Are you beyond the high balance conforming limit as well? Because if you're not, then you want to do a conventional loan. Oh, you're out. All right. So I have been knocking on the door of our capital markets for 3 years for a mini jumbo renovation loan. I don't have one yet.
Yeah, not in the marketplace. There's nothing right now.
There's nothing.
Unfortunately, in the marketplace. So I'm so sorry, friend.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate, but it doesn't. So I mean, it doesn't. Talk to William, because there are some strategies you can use. Maybe you're not going to get all the way to the top, but you could still use it for some refinance, because they may not need to go to the top of that LTV. So don't throw the baby out with the bath. Maybe you just need to look at, okay, how much can you do? So
Right.
again, let's not come, say, hey, oh no, I can't do it. But maybe there's some areas where you can do it. So think about that. And you make it into, I don't know, VA, jumbo, things like that, and use an EEM. So just think outside the box, right?
Right.
Okay, number 3.
Okay, so here's a plan. Call on your existing referral partners weekly. You got to get in front of them, okay? They don't remember. If your realtors, if they've never done renovation loans, if it's an unfamiliar territory to them, it's not going to be top of mind. So there's a whole bunch of flyers that we've made, and there's a lot that you can print and take to them, or you can email to them. But what's going to happen is that you're going to have to be in front of their eyeballs at least weekly. Whether it's email, person-to-person, face-to-face visits are probably the best way to get this business done, because most realtors work face-to-face with their customers. They're accustomed to that. All right. So if you're just going to bombard them with email, I don't think you're going to get a lot of traction, because they're used to talking to people and putting them in their cars and driving them around. So they would expect to see you in front of them. Call on them weekly. Post it to your social media. We have social media pieces on the hub. I think there's maybe a dozen or so that are already ready to go. You can just start firing those out. Link to our Facebook page. It's at FAM Renovation. Post on that. Comment on the articles that are up there. Make presentations to your referral base. All the presentations that we have are, if they're not ready, they will shortly be rebranded and ready. And you can go to your realtor office yourself with your laptop, talk to the principal agent, the broker, the listing agent, and just buzz through 5 or 6, 7, 8, 10 slides. Leave them with them, to make a connection. And then call on new people. Like, don't drive past a realtor office and not that you've never seen before and not go in and see them. Everybody's trying to do business. We've got lots of options for realtors, not only renovation loans. We got our commercial products. You got your reverse product. We got a whole plethora of first mortgages. That adds a lot of value to the realtors that help them get their deals done. So you got your existing, and you should be adding, this should be one of your goals. How many new relationships are you going to start every month with agents you have not done business with? Put it up there and then go get it. Number 4, this is a big one. Prepare for objections, right? Because they're going to have some objections. The realtor webinar, I think these are all 45 minutes or less. Like, we're not trying to keep them all day. We're just going to be in and out. But when you talk to realtors,
the realtor webinar will be 30 minutes, so it'll be a 30-minute one.
All right, cool. So when you talk to them, you may get some objections, especially from people that have been around and they've heard about 203Ks. They may never have done one, but they watched somebody do one. It was a total train wreck. They don't want to do it. So, that'd be the middle one. I don't do them. They're a lot of work and they don't close. All right. So your response is, we have a process built that supports the work. You don't have to do any extra work except for let the buyer in the house maybe more often, so with their contractor, so they can get their bids. That's all you have to do. We do the rest of it, okay? I've got a back office of renovation specialists. They're going to do the renovation project management, so you don't have to worry about that. That's the first one. They say they don't know anything about them. That's easy. Okay, well, then tell them. There's flyers there that break down the differences between the 3 products. Give them that. Explain how the process works. Help them see that asking the money question can get them the deal closed quicker. They show them fewer houses. So that's the easiest one. They don't know anything about them. Just educate them, okay? And the third one is, it costs so much, I don't talk to them about buyers. So that's really a question of, well, what are you talking about? I've had realtors tell me that. They didn't like the fact the rate was a little higher. Well, it's like the difference between an apple and a pomegranate. Like, they're both fruit, but they're really different. On the pomegranate side, we're lending money on something that doesn't exist. Of course, the rate is higher. The market expects it because the risk is higher, right? But it's not exorbitant. Oh, and by the way, if you don't do a renovation loan, they're probably going to put it on their credit card. That we know is 17.5%, 21%. So 5.5 versus 5 versus 17.5. Which do you think costs more, right?
The other thing too, guys, is because Finance of America has the project manager, that changes the game completely. So realtors are used to maybe working with an originator who's done one 203K accidentally, and it's a train wreck. And so you just need to go in and own it and say, you know what, I completely understand. I mean, it's the feel felt found. I understand how you feel. I used to feel the same way, but what I found is working with our Finance of America project managers, it is seamless because we take you from beginning to end, from A to Z. We're going to walk you through the project, and we're not talking about somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. We're talking about somebody that they do this day in and day out. William has designed the programs. His staff do this. So go in there and own it. Just because they say that, it's like, yeah, well, you know what? Sometimes, the houses you sell, transaction doesn't go well. It goes sideways. I mean, it's like, that's life. But when you work with an expert like myself and my team, we're going to make sure that that doesn't happen. But at the very least, let's just look at it as an opportunity. So, just go in and own it is what I say. Say, yeah, I understand that, but that's not how we do it. So let me tell you about what's different about us and just brush on over it. But handle those objections. And, when they come up with an objection like that, say, okay, so if I could show you a way that working with our team that you don't have the problems that you've had in the past, would there be anything from keeping you from using me for a renovation loan? Keep smoking those objections. Be a salesperson. That's what you do. And pull those out. Don't just say, oh, yeah, I know, whatever. Say, yeah, you know what? Absolutely, because you didn't work with me. I mean, whatever you want to do, how cocky you want to get, but I say own it.
Yeah, very good. Absolutely. Number 5, opportunity. This is what Ginger was just talking about, right? The market is down. Best opportunity to increase your book of business because other people are not, right? Recognize the opportunities, purchase in markets where you have aging housing stock, increasing REO properties, failed appraisals. Ask your realtor referral. Do you ever have any issues with your appraisals and the property either doesn't appraise or they want work to be done on it, and that kind of derails the deal? Like, those are deals that we can convert to renovation loans 9 out of 10 times and close that same deal. Okay, so make sure that they know that. And then for you guys that have been in the business for a while and you have a book of business, or somebody in your office has a good database and they're not mining it, Refi and Renovate is a really, really, really strong campaign, because I guarantee you the guy at home who's living in his house and he wants to put in new floors and remodel his kitchen. And so he had a builder come out and he gave him a quote. Oh, and the quote, well, man, that's a lot more than I thought it was going to be. That's usually what happens, right? So he's ready. He's got his builder. He's got his quote. He may have his plans and specs if he wants to build out his master bedroom suite and expand into the attic and, add more living space to his house. He doesn't have the money. If you start dripping on them Refi and Renovate, they're going to wake up in the middle of the line and go, oh, Charlie sent me this thing. I should call him and ask him what this is about, Refi and Renovate. What is that? What exactly does that mean? Okay. Then you got another deal. And these are usually easier deals to do. There's fewer people in the transaction. There's not the same time crunch, unless you're having a baby or having a wedding or something like that. That produces some time crunches in our experience recently. But if they're not having that, then you just got to get them through the process and get them approved, get them to get their mortgage originated, and then they got the money. And the campaign is there. You can go on the hub and get it and start trickling it out to your database and see if you don't get 1 or 2 deals a month that just kind of show up because they call you.
Cool. And the refinance to renovate, I think, is a huge opportunity just for you to touch your database. And, this is a good time of the year. People honestly do a lot of remodeling, like right around the holidays or right before the holidays, because all of a sudden they realize, oh my gosh, I'm having a bunch of company. I need some new floors, or I need a new kitchen suddenly, but get them thinking about that, or maybe a project for next year. A lot of people are staying in their homes longer. Average used to be 5. Now we're seeing upwards of 7. And so this is an opportunity for you to market to your database. And again, this should be part of your goals. How often are you marketing to your database? Do you have that plan? Do you have a roadmap? Do you know exactly what you're sending out every single month? And it needs to be cohesive in what you're doing in your marketing. So you're having, a conversation. One week you're talking about VA. The next week you're talking about Reno. The next week you're talking about, decorating. I mean, it doesn't always have to be about loans. Again, there ain't nothing sexy about what we do. So you got to sexy it up. You got to, Bring Ginger to the island. Make it more interesting. It's like, that's what it's all about. So those are kind of things I want you all to think about in terms of what you're doing and what is that plan. Set your goals. I mean, let's increase it in 2019, but these are the kind of things you can do. So before we move on to number 6, we do have a question, William, on can we do a TBD approval on a rental loan?
We cannot afford to do TBD approvals, but because of the manpower and everything that's involved. But you can with confidence if you take your TBD and you run DU. If you get an approved eligible and those findings are basically what you're looking at, then that will go through underwriting. And I did that for a long time, for many years before we actually, at other places where I worked, I would always run DU, build your scenario out, look at your credit income asset documentation, make sure there's no hiccups in there, make sure you got a solid application, build your scenario, run DU. If you get an approved eligible, 9.5 out of 10 of those are going to close.
When you have to look at, really, you're getting your TBD on your credit side. We have 2 sides, obviously, of our approval process. We have our credit and we have our collateral. So the collateral side, you're not going to be doing anything on a TBD anyway because you're not going to have a house.
Right.
So that doesn't matter. So can you do a TBD approval on a rental loan? Yeah, because you're going to do the approval on the credit. So whatever you need to get, to run it through, do that. And let your realtors know, yes, I can do that. You bring me a borrower, I'm going to find if they're credit worthy. And that's what you're looking at on a TBD. Has nothing to do with the collateral. So don't even worry about that. So again, go back and own it. Stephen, say, yeah, I can do a TBD. Absolutely. Because when we're doing a TBD, what we're doing is we're finding out if your borrower is approved, if they're eligible. So that's all a TBD is. So I would say, William, yeah, you can do a TBD because
I think you're right.
We're taking out the 2 different pieces because the things we're looking at when we are approving for a loan, there's the 2 different components. There's a credit and there's a collateral. And William, your strength and your interest is in the collateral side of it. And so I would say, yeah, go and own that.
We actually underwrite to the finances anyway. If you guys have known that, like we always underwrite on a way skinny down document list. Check out the Reno submission checklist. That's the documents we need. So we underwrite it as a financial transaction based on the numbers and the credit.
Yeah. And the other thing, so let's talk about TBDs, and I'm going to digress for just a little bit because I know that a lot of realtors, that you have to have that. You have to have the pre-approval letter. So educate them on what's the difference between a pre-qual and a pre-approval, because you all can actually do a pre-approval. You can do more than what they get from a Quicken loan. So use that again as leverage for expertise in how fabulous you are. And yes, Victor, grass skirts, absolutely. Stand out. Grass skirts, hula skirts, I mean, whatever it takes to stand out, do that. Let's talk about educating your referral partners, which is important, while William is laughing. It's a Monday. It seems like a Friday.
Yeah, it does seem like a Friday, doesn't it? So this is really important, guys. Your referral partners probably don't really understand renovation loans. Your consumers don't understand them. So it's really going to be up to you guys. And we're trying to give you as much material as possible that you can do that. Use the collateral we've already created. Make sure you're talking to them. They don't know, oh, I can do that with a reno loan. That's usually what I get. Oh, I didn't know that I could do that. So make sure they understand what the power and the strength of renovation loans offers them from the collateral side. You got to be in front of them. You got to be talking to them. You got to be showing them scenarios. We're going to actually start in January. One of my goals is to publish once a month or once a couple times a month some interesting scenarios that come through the Reno Op Center, because you guys have no idea what people are doing. We see all kind of renovation loans, right? So we're going to start pushing that out to you guys. So you say, did you know you could do this?
Cool.
Yep.
I like that. Which brings us to number 7.
Number 7, get out and talk to industry professionals. Go to your realtor events. We call it a MIBOR, which is the Indianapolis Association of Realtors. Get out and see them, the guys that are in there. There's probably a group of independent realtors in your market. At least I know there is in Indianapolis, a large group of people that aren't Tucker or Carpenter.
Oh, they're everywhere.
Or Berkshire Hathaway. There's a lot of them. Go talk to them. Find out who's in the independent association. They usually welcome lenders to come and talk to them because most lenders don't talk to them. They go to the established organizations. Find out which realtor offices you can visit. Like in my market, some are closed, but even the closed ones are open when I'm talking about renovation loans because their in-house lender doesn't do them. Right? So find that out. Add it to your drive-by. You got to get in your car. And what my manager had me do, and I actually had someone do this, and I'm getting ready to do it for some commercial interests here in Indianapolis to prove my point, is put a map on the wall, 10-mile circle of your house, identify every realtor, no matter how big or small the brokerage is, in your 10-mile area, and call on them once a week. And leave a different piece of collateral. You will, I guarantee you, you will get business from it. It may not be all rental business, but you may be the only lender that's been in to see them for 2 weeks.
Yeah, and when you're looking at different associations, there's a lot of great associations, realtor associations that are not through NAR, through your local association. So ARIA,
Right.
the American Association of Asian Realtors, is a great organization. They have chapters across the country.
NAREP?
It's ARIA.
Well, there's
There's
ARIA, there's
NAREP,
NAREP.
yep, the National Association of Hispanic Realtors. And
Yep,
then there's also I think there's an association of young realtors, of millennials. I don't know what that
yep.
one's called.
There's one of
Um,
those.
so look at those, and then the other thing is, credit unions may be an option for you too, because they're not doing this type of business. So if there's some
Right.
credit union associations that you can go to and just attend and just be able to talk about that, then those are the kind of things that are good to do. So let's go. I think we've covered a lot of different questions. I want to let you all go so you can all post this on Facebook and LinkedIn and all those other kind of places. So the webinar tomorrow is at 11 a.m. Pacific time. So whatever your time zone is, you're going to adjust for that. So 11 a.m. Pacific time. And then you have access to marketing materials that are available in the hub. So you can access that. And really look at how you can sell renovation loans, help you to grow your business. And it doesn't mean you're going to get a ton of these. It just means you're going to stand out. And that's really why you do it. I helped a friend of mine, an LO in Vegas, build a renovation website back in 2008. So when you started in the business and when things were falling apart, it's like, okay, I always say there's got to be a pony in there somewhere, because if there's a big pile of something had to be responsible for that. So find the pony. And that's what we did. It's like, okay, renovation loans. So he built a website. I helped him with the content. He gets over 300 leads a month just off of that website. And most of them, in fact, less than 5% ever actually become a rental loan. But he's out there and he's talking about it and he's positioned himself. And honestly, I don't think he's changed that content much. And so look at the things that you can do to position yourself. Be that expert, and then make sure you're telling people about it. So right now, before we got on this webinar, I had 10 people registered for the webinar. I know you all can do better than that. I've posted the link. You've told me it works. And so we will make sure and follow up with all the information. I'm going to send you everything from what we've done for these last 3 webinars. And William, thank you so much. I
Thank you,
have
Ginger. I've
enjoyed
enjoyed it.
working with you on this series. I know this is the first series that I've done with the FAM Retail. I predominantly work for FAM Wholesale. So if y'all like what we did, let people know so we can do more, because we like working with you.
Absolutely.
And have a great day. Have a great week. And I look forward to seeing you all soon.
Thank you very much. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Ginger.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.